Here we have outline. We have a subject named as database design and development, which have some outline. Here we have outlines. It says our LO1 says understand database management system, and we have some ACEs assessment criteria in which a learner can evaluate the role of database within organization, critically evaluates the database design process for a complex database. At third point, explain that can be used, explain techniques that can be used to connect databases to the other application. Recommend a database management system to design a complex database. In LO1, when you have done with LO1, you are able to do these 4 tasks. We have some indicative content that is related to our LO1. Then we have LO2, LO3, and LO4. In the whole course, you are going to cover these LOs and their indicative content too. After that, you will be good to go to design a database with these proper tasks and assessment criteria that you are going to fulfill by your assessment and your task. Here we have your task. It is database design and development assignment that is related to Maharudbi's organization. Here we have a scenario that you have been appointed as a database developer for a Maharudbi. Means a learner has been appointed as a database developer for Maharudbi. After completing the course, you are going to develop a database for Maharudbi. This is your assignment, your means semester assignment. The company have recently set up new business and it currently keeps bees. Okay. The bees produce honey, pollen, and royal jelly. And the beekeepers also raises queen bees to sell to other bee farms. Okay. Mahrut bees produce honey to sell alongside facial product made from the royal jelly that is produced by the bees. The owner has asked you to design and build an advanced RDBMS that will allow the beekeeper to record the details of bees, queens, customers, staff, orders, payment, products, and suppliers. Okay. Here we have some activities that will cover your LOs and your ACs as well. In activity number 1, you are going to provide a design for a complex RDBMS. In response to the client brief, whatever the briefing that you have taken from the client. Normalize your data up to third normal form. We will discuss what is the normalization and how we are going to do it. Then you are going to produce a design documentation in response to your client brief and show the design of your tables, indices, constraints, SQL queries, forms, macros, and security measures. In your activity number 2, you will ask the owner to approve. If your design has been approved by the Maharudbi owner, you are going to implement it. Implement the database design using the design that you have created in activity number 1. Ensure that your database includes all the features you designed in activity 1 plus a suitable GUI. Then you are going to attempt your activity number 3. Now the database has been implemented and you are going to test it. You are going to explain different methods and techniques of testing that could be used to test your database. And before that, you are going to produce a test plan which identifies which type of test you are going to carry out on this database that you have been implemented. This should include testing of extreme data and error handling. By the term error handling, There is a synonym of error handling known as exception handling. Okay. Use the test plan and carry out the test. You are going to produce a screenshot evidences and attach it to your design documentation as an evidence to show the test has been carried out successfully or not. Any error that has been involved and you have been resolved it. Amend the database based on the testing according to your requirement. And in the last and the final activity, now the database design, implementation, and testing has been done. Now you are going to produce a report in which you will write critically evaluates the design process and documentation that was produced for Mahrutbi's database, identifying improvement with the design documentation where appropriate. Means you are going to find improvement in the design documentation with respect to Mahrutbi's database. Review the database implementation process and explain what was successful and what you would do differently if you were to do this again. Evaluates the role of database within Mahrutbi's. Which type of role will be considered on merit while operating Mahrutbi's database? Compare this with how large organizations use this database. Explain how Mahrutbi's can connect this database to some other application or within the business. Recommend the Mahrutbi's database management system they can use to maintain the database that you have created. Now, here we have done outline discussion, assignment overview, and LO1 assessment criteria. In 1.1, we can see that the point is evaluate the role of database within the organization. Here we have points: developing database for organization, organizational structure, data elements, data sets, forms, reports. The first point is, what is a database? A database is an organized collection of data that is stored and retrieved electronically and very fast from a computer or server. The database manages data to reduce or eliminate redundancy so that data they contain can be easily searched and retrieved from any server or any point. A database stores any type of information such as financial transactions, daily temperature variations in the weather forecasting system, and even sales record in the business. While it seems simple to store any data, there are specific ways information need to be stored and entered so the business using the information can get necessary information when it's required. Okay, the next point is developing databases for organizations. Databases are basically the backbone of any business because they contain some serious information on every aspect of the company. Information, questions, and answers for the most part need to be accessed, managed, and updated quickly. Database allows you to do all that and allow your business to function smoothly. With other tools such as database monitoring softwares, companies can keep their database secure, running at the peak performance 24/7, 365 days a year. A properly designed database provides you with access to up-to-date, accurate information. Because a correct design is essential to achieve your goals and working within the database, investing the time required to learn principle of good design makes sense. And then you are much more likely to end up with a database that meets your needs and can easily accommodate the change, whatever you want to in the database. The next point is who uses the database. Depending on the data requirement or the company's requirement, anyone in the company can benefit from database access. Here are the few examples. E-commerce team can track the transaction data. Diagnostic imaging teams means health team for healthcare provider can access the patient information before the imaging process. Supplier can keep the close watch on incoming and outgoing orders and product inventory within the database. IT support team can use database to follow changes made to data or system as a part of their troubleshooting process. Why do organizations need a database? What is the need of the organization? On this basis, on the question of this, you are going to develop. With the advent of powerful and efficient database softwares, businesses can perform many tasks with ease. This includes sending out personalized marketing materials like marketing emails, keeping inventory updated, and minimizing shipping errors that save time and money. Just like the tracking tickets. The database generate tracking tickets, they will paste it on the package and they will save the time. Even a small business can use a database to handle the record keeping, streamline customer service, improve order processing, or create a feedback mechanism that help employee become more productive. Businesses can also use database to gain real-time insights into the customers. For example, if you are in retail, your data can help you look more closely at who is buying the product and how often, how much the frequency is. That kind of information enables you to locate new customers or tailors advertising for current customers. Okay? Signs that your business needs a database. Checking several locations to find data means register system. Multiple systems storing data leads to confusions, take up time, and stresses employees. It makes reporting more complex and even more raise cost if you buy more software than you need. A database can centralize all of your data, making it quick and straightforward to obtain all necessary information at once. At one click, you can do a CSV file and visualize it into your computer or in the cell phone. Trouble retrieving data from existing system. This is a clear indication that the present system is overburdened or there is some error in the system or you are using this old-fashioned system. There is a good chance your business has too much data but not the right tools to manage it. A new database can hold all of the data and be customized for your business needs according to the requirement, allowing it to grow with you for years or even decades. Outdated support for legacy systems. There is a slew of issues with legacy software, and foremost is the problem of security. Newer software take into account current cybersecurity risks and receive important updates to keep your data safe. Outdated software can become quite sluggish since it can't handle these upgrades. Second, outdated software is ultimately deprecated, so don't wait until your business needs a system reset. The existing system is unable to handle data from critical channels like from the customers, from the bees, since none of the legacy system can manage data from all critical sources. A business can have data located in several places. Investing in a single system that integrates with all your critical data channels makes it easier for the end user. Here we use a slew of issues. It means uncontrollable issues. The issues that you are not going to deal with. The issues that is not going into your control means they are getting out of your control. How do database work? A database is an organized collection of data stored on a computer disk at its most basic level. Database can be complex with multiple layers of organization, but at their core, they are helpful for managing data across the enterprise or across the organization. A database data is organized according to the consistent logical set of underlying principles. The term data model refers to the database logical structure, the structure on which your database is developed, which establish the rules for organizing and manipulating the data housed inside. A database schema is the implementation of data model in a specific database. You can consider a schema as a blueprint of your database, specifying parameters such as requisite data type, restriction, and how individual or anybody handle the database. A database schema is what's separated from list or a spreadsheet. Okay. Characteristics of a good and fine database. A database must be capable of storing all the essential data that you needs to get stored. Users should be able to link multiple tables in the database together using relations. Various users should be able to access same database without interfering with the work of others. For example, teacher can work on the database simultaneously to update student grades. Teachers should also be able to update the grades without affecting the grades of other students. The accuracy and consistency of data in a database is known as data integrity. Low data integrity is database reflect the existence of missing or inaccurate info. Data integrity means this data is much accurate than onto the register system or a file system. And this data is a standalone data. This data does not have false value. Okay. Characteristics of good database. The term data redundancy refers to the presence of identical data, means data duplication in several locations within the database. Data redundancy expands the database size, causes integrity issues, reduces efficiency, and leads to abnormality. Abnormalities is a synonym of anomaly. Okay. In database, abnormalities will be replaceable with anomaly. Anomaly means problem. Users should store data in such a way that prevent it from being duplicated in numerous tables. The level of data security in a database relates to how effectively the data is safe from crashes, hackers, and unintentional deletion. For example, a physics instructor will be able to view and amend his students' physics grades only. He will not able to examine any other course or change any other record. However, the head of department means the HOD will have the complete access of all courses and their scores. Data maintenance refers to the action performed on a monthly, daily, or hourly basis to correct mistakes in a database and prevent anomalies. Database maintenance correct problems and identify prospective errors and prevent them from occurring in the future. Businesses use database monitoring tools to monitor and track database performance. Organizational structure. Now we are going to discuss organization structure. Organizational structure is the method by which work flows through an entire organization. It allows groups to work together within their individual function to manage tasks and done it according to the time frame. A system that outlines how certain activities are directed in order to achieve the common goals of the organization. Types of organization structure: functional structure and multi-divisional structure. Functional structure. Four types of common organizational structures are implemented in the real world. The first and the most common is the functional structure. Most small to medium sized business implement a functional structure, dividing the firm into departments consisting of marketing, sales, and operation in the act of using bureaucratic organizational structure. Division. The second type is common along the large companies with many business units called the divisional or multi-divisional M form structure. A company that uses this structure, its leadership team based on the products, projects, or subsidiaries they operate. A good example of this structure is Johnson and Johnson. This is a company that follows this structure. With thousands of products and lines of business, the company structured itself so each business unit operates as, as its own company with its own president. Flat structure. Flatarchy, also known as horizontal structure, is relatively new and is used among many startups. As the name alludes, it flattens the hierarchy and the chain of command, and it gives employee a lot of autonomy. Companies that use this type of structure have a high speed of implementation. Matrix structure. Firms can also have matrix structure. It is also the most confusing and the least used. This structure matrices employees across different superiors, divisions, or departments. It means an employee can work in the sale to collect records and in customers department to handle customers and also in the marketing department to carry out marketing campaigns as well. This is known as matrix structure. An employee working of a matrix company, for example, may have duties in both sales and customer service as well. Okay. A data element specifies the type of data a column contains, which in turn determines the transforms that can be applied in the transformer stage. Application specific data elements allows you to describe the data in a particular column in more detail. For example, if you have a column containing a numeric product code, you might assign it the built-in data element number. There is a range of built-in transforms associated with this data element. However, all of these would be unsuitable as it is unlikely that you would want to perform a calculation on a product code. In this case, you could create a new data element called P code. Data elements are used to define the characteristics of a table field or a component of a structure. They are also used to define the row type of the table type. The meaning of the table field or structure component along with editing screen fields can be mapped with the data element. All of this information is available automatically to the screen fields that are referenced to the data element. Datasets. Datasets are actually the collection of multiple data. In database development, a dataset is a collection of related data that is organized in a specific way to get stored into the database. These sets can be used to store and manage large amount of information, making it easier to retrieve and analyze the data when needed. The dataset can be used for a variety of purposes, such as tracking customer information, managing inventory, or analyzing sales data. They are often created using software tools, it's actually tools specifically designed for database development, such as Microsoft Access or Oracle database. Forms and reports. Forms are basically the data collection fields, and reports are basically the data retrieval fields. Forms and reports are essential components of database development. Forms provide an interface for users to input data into the database, while reports allows users to view and analyze data stored in the database. Without forms and reports, database would be difficult to use and manage. Forms can take many different forms, from simple text boxes to complete GUI. They can be used to collect information from users, such as customer contact details or employee performance evaluation. Reports, on the other hand, can be used to display data in a variety of formats, including tables, charts, and graphs. They can be used to summarize data, identify trends, and help users to make informed decisions.